Culinary
Yeah.
Institute of America. We can't talk about the other CIA.
It's now time for one of our favorite parts of the show, On the Table, presented by Blue Runner Foods, where we bring the taste of Louisiana to our and your table each week. This is where we celebrate the flavors, traditions, and people behind New Orleans cuisine. And today we are excited to be joined by Chef Dee Lavigne of Delightful Roux School of Cooking.
Right.
Hello, Chef. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, Mark. How are you?
I'm fine. Look, you're a native New Orleanian. You opened the first black-owned cooking school in the city. Tell us about it.
So Delightful Roux definitely was not my original vision. I would say that. The school came about through COVID. I was actually working on my bakery. I used to have a bakery company called Delightful Cupcakes, and COVID had other plans. By way of a couple of conversations, I ended up working on a project with the Smithsonian, American History in Washington, D.C., that really introduced me to Chef Lena Richard.
Oh, wow.
And that's where the idea all started.
That's an inspiring moment for you, wasn't
Yes,
it?
100%.
Fantastic. What do you love most about teaching people how to cook?
I think teaching people that, number one, it's not as hard as you think. Number two, you're halfway there. You just need a few tweaks. And flavor is always on the horizon. It just takes time.
Yeah. Being a mentor and an educator at the same time, I think is important because people get inspired by you,
Yes.
and then they go back and they think they can do great things because they can.
They can.
All right.
Yeah.
Here's the one thing I've got to ask.
Uh-oh.
Roux.
Roux.
I don't seem to do well with roux. What do you tell people?
So first of all, I tell people, number one, it doesn't take all day. We're in New Orleans, people ready to eat. We're not trying to make roux for 30 hours, right? Number two, think about your fat choice. I like to go with canola oil.
Okay.
One seed oil, high smoke point, no flavor. That's what you're looking for. It's going to toast your flour to whatever beautiful color you want to settle, whether you're in that blonde, peanut butter, or dark chocolate color.
Well, how do you start it, though? Is it 2 parts, 1 part? Or?
So it depends on what you're making. And it has to depend on whether or not you need a heavy, thick kind of consistency.
Right.
So usually people start 1-to-1, 1 part oil, 1 part flour.
And you just start working it
And
over.
then you start working it.
Over the
Best
flame.
thing I can tell you is to get your pan warm first and then add your oil. Once your oil is hot, then add your flour. And you're going to mix
Is that
like
one of the big
Dickens.
mistakes people make?
I do. They put it all in there together and they're stirring paste for seems like eternity and hoping it all comes out right.
Well, we don't have a kitchen yet in the studio. Maybe one day. But if we did, what would you be cooking for us today?
Man, you know what? The thing that's really been taken off of me the most that people enjoy learning is New Orleans style barbecue shrimp.
Really?
Yep. I think the excitement of the way that I cook barbecue shrimp, no oil, lots of butter, and beer, they're already connected.
And you're not putting it on a grill.
No grill.
Right? Because you initially think, well, I'm going to barbecue some shrimp.
Nope.
You may lose them in the grill,
Yeah,
right?
the wording is a little bit tricky, but no, there is no grill. It's done with a hot pan with no oil. That's where the char comes from. That's that barbecue flavor.
Well, that brings up that confidence issue. You know, someone will say, I could never make that. What's your advice to build confidence in the kitchen?
So I always
Because
say
that would
if
be a
you're-
magic for me to do a barbecue shrimp. That's
Yeah.
something that I don't have.
To build confidence, I always say start at breakfast. Breakfast is the easiest meals to prepare, but yet they're the hardest because they're the simplest. To make an actual omelet requires a lot of skill, but you would think it's just eggs. But start at breakfast. It's the easiest and the most forgiving because if you mess it up, you just put syrup or powdered sugar on top of it and you keep moving.
Do you have your favorite breakfast dish?
My favorite breakfast dish would probably be biscuits. I am a biscuit girl.
Really?
I
Scratch?
love biscuits. Of course.
Of course, that's a silly question to ask you.
Of course, from scratch. Yeah.
I can imagine. I'm so used to buying it off the shelf, right?
That's okay. I mean, listen, food happens how it happens. I feel like people live in a different time. We don't all have time to make everything from scratch.
Yeah,
I'm
but
sure
scratch
my mother would
biscuits.
have loved to have some help with 8 kids and, pre-made items, but she didn't. She had to cook. So Everybody has a different time.
Let's talk about the influences in your life. Who were the influencers? Your mom? Who else has inspired you?
Yeah, so my mother was a decent cook. I had two grandmothers, one that cooked and one that baked. And they allowed me the opportunity to watch and grow. And that was something that I could never, ever, right? I can't thank them enough for. I think it was my dad that really got me involved in hanging out with my grandmother, his mother.
Yeah.
That, man, I didn't like hanging over there. She was not the nicest, right? That lady was very matter of fact. You couldn't make a mess in there. You had to pay attention. She was the one that was going to whack you if you weren't like on cue. And he was like, I want you to go spend time with my mother. I'm like, Jesus. Like, out of all the people, like, really.
I want to have a good time here.
Right?
I bet that discipline in the
Best
kitchen.
things to do in my Saturday. But yeah, that discipline definitely got me ready for one of my biggest challenges was going through the CIA.
Wow.
Yeah.
What was that experience like?
So,
And that Culinary Institute of America.
Culinary Institute of America. We can't talk about the other CIA.
No.
But the Culinary Institute, right? So it's the Harvard of culinary schools. At the time when I went to school, I was probably the third female in my group of 30. There were not very many women. So women were more tight-knit and close together. But, man, you want to talk about stress. It was very stressful, but they had a job to do, and that job was to make sure that you were prepared and that they were pumping out a product that was consistent. The name says something because it means something, and it's true.
Did they place you in kitchens, commercial kitchens, while you were in school?
Oh, yeah, of course.
Or the internships were active?
I actually did my internship right here in New Orleans at the Full Service Marriott.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I got to work with Chef Mark Beaupre. He's an alumni from CIA. And, man, we literally worked through every aspect of hotel hospitality of food and beverage, which I really enjoyed.
Wow, that's wonderful. And you must have a good sort of support system now, all these CIA graduates that
we're all kind of close. I mean, it's not a lot of us. You would think as many students that graduate, or some stay in the business, some don't. It's just, a matter of preference.
Yeah. So if somebody could learn one thing from you in the kitchen, what would that be?
I would teach them how to build flavor.
Okay.
I think that's the one thing that people don't understand. They know the ingredients, they know they need to go in, but they don't understand how to come up with the flavor that results in the end.
And the flavor can come from where?
We starting with the Trinity.
Okay. And you build from there.
Build from there.
What's the best dish you've gotten out of that Trinity? What was the first dish you got out of the Trinity? And again, for our viewers and listeners, the Trinity being?
Onions, bell pepper, and celery.
There you go.
I would say probably red beans and rice. Something extremely simple, but, man, packs an incredible amount of flavor.
And it really keeps that alive.
Yep.
I got to ask you, Blue Runner Foods is a great sponsor for this On the Table segment. And I got to ask you, how would you incorporate Blue Runner Foods into your work?
So, we're doing red beans and rice every single Monday. Sometimes I don't have time to put beans on, right? I get that can. We are going to start with our Trinity first, as if we were making fresh beans. I'm going to add in my sausage, and then we're going to open that can of Blue Runner. I guarantee you at the end of the day.
Stovetop? We're talking stovetop?
You got it. Stovetop. My family will not know the difference unless they watch this.
I think I have done the same thing, and they are delicious.
They really are. They're really, really creamy. It's a really easy way to come up with a very quick meal.
Well, thank you for sharing that. Tell us about the cooking school. What's on the horizon for you?
So cooking school right now, we're still rolling through. We still do public classes 3 days a week, Mondays, Thursdays, and Fridays. We teach people how to create Creole and Cajun cuisine. And in our off time, which are the other days, we entertain corporate companies. We do C-suites and team builds, birthday parties, anniversaries, and, family reunions. We are literally surrounded by showing people how to cook incredible food.
That's fantastic. And for people to understand that, they can go to your website.
Yep, they can go to the website. It's delightfulroux.com, and that's 2 E's.
And that's ROUX.
ROUX.
Delightfulroux.com.
Yes.
And you can see that right on the screen there, and you can sign up for those classes, which is very important. Chef Dee, we thank you so much. This was fantastic. I feel like we're in a good educational moment here. We got to get this kitchen built so that we can have you
Get
back.
that kitchen together.
And
I'm coming in.
we can do a roux together, and I can do it the right way.
100%. I got you.
Well, we want to thank Blue Runner Foods, of course, for making this possible. This on the table segment.
Yep.
Deeply appreciate
Definitely.
you.
You're
Thanks
welcome.
for being with us. Hey, y'all, go ahead and hit that subscribe button on our YouTube channel and turn on your notifications. Please follow us. We've got new shows each and every week. And a very, very special thanks to all of our sponsors who are making this possible. Have a great day, and we'll see you next week.